makers, crack music.
Y'all now rockin' with 4 for 100. Let's go. To keep it real, it's not a chore for beloved. When they say it's up, put it on the floor, they gon' love it. I popped up in all them 4 doors that they covet. All in 2-seaters, cause a few fevers. Got all the ops hot, they wonder why I'm not shot. The way we used to step on them squares like hopscotch. I'm one of them ones that God got, he stops plots. Until the clock stops, we gon' turn it up a notch. They watching the stop clock while we burning up the block. I'm still learning a lot, I son them, let them talk. I'm still letting it slide like I got my son at the park. Cause I know that we could be gunning, running from knocks, but we stop for the lesson. It's positive progression to kick it with the like-minded. Can't spend your life blinded, rewind it, arsonist behind it. Let's go. Now let that beat rock. Or like the big homie Trigger Tretch would say, haha, smooth it out now. Jerz, Creole, 4 for 100. Heat makers, the originators.
Brother Wise here with us, man.
No, I feel.
I want to tell our audience that we keep our promises. We did an interview with Heat Makers and
Aborn.
And they couldn't stop talking about you. And then we said, we gonna get you, Wise.
Yeah.
And he picked up the phone and he said, fellas, you got it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it happened that way.
I gotta make it dramatic. Like that.
Like, like that?
Like, he got our number and said, you got me. Make it dramatic. How y'all feeling this morning? Everybody looks good.
Cold.
Thank you. Feeling great.
Always cold. Fingertips.
I'll start right here. What was you listening to this morning?
Beanie, actually. Feel it in the air.
Really?
Throw it back a little bit.
Are you paranoid about something?
Nah, I'm ready to hear some new music from him with the AI advancement. If he could get his voice back and he writing again, I want to hear some new music.
How do you think that's gonna be weird?
No, it's going to be actually his voice. I think it's weirder when they try and make Michael Jackson sing new songs. Shit like that is weird. But if he actually writing and is using the productivity of his voice, that's, I think, what it's really for.
What are you listening to?
Oh, this morning?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I
was listening to a James Brown Christmas album.
Yeah.
It just happened. It happened to be on a series.
And it's funny, right? Because 2 weeks ago he's listening to old school music. Yeah. He's listening to old school music. The following week, so you came in here and just followed up with James Brown.
So
can't go long.
You gotta come in.
I'm just doing it
YG and come in.
I'm not getting off YG.
You know, he kind of y'all rubbed off on me. I was listening to some Anita Baker today. So
there you go.
You know, because it reminds you of this, you know, when your mom used to clean up on grandma.
Yeah, Sunday morning, smell like
you know
bleach.
What I'm saying? So that's what I was listening to.
Yeah,
I was in the chill mood today.
Now you're gonna make me throw it off, but I don't care. I was listening to Nicki Minaj, Everybody on repeat through traffic.
Oh, that's her and Vert.
Yeah. I don't even.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Man.
That's a good look.
She actually went on Cuisine stream. Really good look for her. She really good look.
She kept making stink faces though.
Yeah.
I don't like when she do that.
I never heard the. It's dope.
It's just the one track.
It's got the Jersey Club vibe.
I think a lot of artists is now coming out with that Jersey Club vibe right now. So for that be they singles and stuff like that. So because people
took y'all long enough.
I think it's more of the nostalgia of the original. It's like the Santana song. They do a lot of things that were like huge
sampling,
and as it's down, not just sampling. I mean like the
classics
whole format of the song. You know,
I think too. Like you gotta remember, we live in the world of TikTok. So now that you have TikTok, you want to have those songs because it resonates to keep people dancing. And you want to record 30
seconds.
That's it. You ain't got to be a good choreographer. So that's pretty much it.
With that one, and then you good.
Yeah. All right, clean us up. What you was listening to?
What's up,
Bring it back
I
home.
was listening to Big X the Plug.
Oh,
my boy put me on him when we was on vacation. I was like, all right. Yeah, I like him. Listen to him. He got a song with Finesse 2 times.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I like that one. That's what I was listening to this morning.
Okay. White. Please, everybody, hit the like and subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. We got great episodes.
I ain't gonna lie.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I thank you. You know, I try my best to come out here looking nice. But like I said, see, we like these clothes, right? So you help me get monetized and make some more money so we can buy some more clothes for studio.
Hit the button. Tell your friends to hit the button.
Hit the button. You know what I mean? So we got some more work coming out for y'all today. So
cool. Thank you. Well, again, we're back with another interview. Kush already did a soft introduction, but I officially want to introduce and welcome one of a lot of father's strongest soldiers and illest rhymers, the Deacon Wise, Mr. Huwe Burton. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to 4400, brother. Absolutely.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Welcome.
Thank you.
for having me.
If you can, before we jump into actual questions, if you could introduce yourself to the audience, kind of tell them where you're from, how you got here, where you been,
Okay.
kind of what's coming up for you.
Huwe Burton. They call me Wise. How I got here? Spent a long time incarcerated for a crime that I didn't commit. I went through everything that I went through with that. We fought. I'd lost that trial. Was sentenced to 15 to life. Ended up doing almost 21 before I came home. Came home, was still committed to fighting. So I took the next 10 years and fought, and finally in 2019, I was exonerated.
Awesome.
Wow, that's great. That's definitely great.
Awesome. I think it's really important, one, that you said you were paroled in 2009, but you continued to fight. I think, I'm not going to say a lot, but many brothers are, and women, are kind of placated at being able just to go home. But you needed everybody to know that you had to be exonerated because, one, you didn't do this, but also talk about how you connecting with the Innocence Project and the Conviction Integrity Unit kind of assisted you in making sure that your name was cleared eventually.
Okay, so the reason why when I came home, I was paroled in 2009, I couldn't accept it and just come home and just do parole because it wasn't just anyone who was killed in my case. It was my mother. So, I was still committed to fighting. I knew I was never supposed to be there. And, shortly before I came home, I had some lawyers get interested in saying, okay, well, let's take a look at this case again. And we just continued to fight. For me, it was about restoring my personal dignity. You know what I mean? So, and for those who may never get the opportunity to come out here and tell their story. So it's like, yo, you have to keep fighting. You just can't stop. You just can't do parole. To do that is to accept what they've done to you. So I continue to keep fighting.
Cool.
Oh,
Thank you for
glad you
answering the
did.
question.
Glad you did.
That definitely is glad you did that. So going through your ordeal and being wrongfully convicted of a crime that you didn't do, I know the crime was very heinous, right? So I know at one point in time you felt like you was alone, right?
Yes and no. Yes, because you're the only one going through what you're going through.
Right.
So you really feel alone. But no, because I had like an amazing father.
Your father was still around?
He walked with me for 13 years of the ordeal. Until he passed in 2005.
Okay.
So having that one person that has that unwavering belief in you, knows that you're innocent, and will just do whatever he needs to do to prove that. So I wasn't alone in that sense, but being inside, you're really alone. Especially you're on Rikers Island, you go upstate, you're alone. You meet people along the way, but when that gate closes at night, it's you and your thoughts.
And you were a young man too.
At 16 at the time.
16 years old.
Yeah.
16 was when you when you were actually incarcerated for the crime?
Yeah. 16. That was 89.
Yeah, the Innocence Project, they've made a really good job of like making a website and accessing other people's files and their information really palatable. Like it looks really good on screen, which is helpful because it makes you more engaged. It's not some brick, of a website. And I appreciate how much effort they put into it. One thing that I came across though is the fear to speak on other people, right? Like I'm happy that you're here and I'm happy that this works out. But like as I'm reading through these stories, it's not that I in no way am I judging whether I think they are or they aren't, but they're here on the website. So the presumption is that they are innocent. And that makes it feel good. But it's like, I would like to highlight someone's story, but what if that's the wrong story? And I think that's the fear that most people have with overturning convictions,
I think so too. And I think even with the intake department that they have, because they get many letters. So even with their intake department, they have to say, okay, well, they have to weigh it. And a lot of times it's like, what if you say, well, you really don't believe in it, but the person is innocent? You know,
Yeah.
so either way, you know, you really have to be careful.
It's really good work that they doing.
They do great work. So,
Yeah.
you know, if they've taken your case, they have done their due diligence to go through it, and everybody that you see there is innocent.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
definitely dope.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope to know.
So my thing is being incarcerated, like you spoke about, and the type of crime of killing your mom, allegedly, you know, that's what they put on you. Then, how much of a toll did that take on you mentally? Because I know, watching the Breakfast Club, listen to Charlemagne, he talks about mental health and how we should take care of ourselves. How much of a toll did it take on you then, as to even coming full circle now, even though you're vindicated?
It took a lot. It took a lot out of me, especially, you know, the initial phase of it. You just imagine for a minute. You're 16. You're not into the street now. You kind of, you know, you go to your little parties, you know, you drink your little beer, and you come home. You know some of your friends who are that way, but you're not really. You're really into school and doing what you do. I take you from that environment, and I put you in an environment where there are other 16, 17-year-old kids, but they have a whole different lifestyle.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then not only am I going to put you in that environment, I'm going to put you in that environment with a bullseye on your back.
Yeah.
Because this is a heinous crime.
Right.
Because just think about it. Most kids that were there at the time, a lot of them were there because they were tired of seeing their mothers go through whatever they were going through. So some of them said, well, they're going to get it however they're going to get it. Now here you come.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
And you got this label on you.
And
You got this big bad wolf that you're not.
Right.
And
No,
you got a
even-
father behind
Right.
you, which may have made you an even bigger target because you have people outside who love you.
Yeah.
Some people, when they're in there, I know that they get angrier because there is no connection to the outside world. So they become more vicious. And you got to be sitting next to this person with, like, even the bare minimum of having a family that supports and loves you could make you a target in these environments.
But it's still a crime that even 99% of actual killers wouldn't commit, you know? So that's
that's what I'm saying. That's what makes you an even
amplified.
bigger
So
target.
it's really amplified. So it's like, you know, you're an enemy of the officers that are in there because I mean, this is national news. You know what I mean? And I mean, they're running the story, and so, you know, everything is happening to you. You know what I mean? So
this was in the news and everything.
Oh yeah, this is on the news. This was in the newspaper. You know what I mean? So the same way the exoneration was on the 6 o'clock news, the arrest was as well.
Yeah, the accusation was just as loud as
it definitely was, and that's why, you know, I told my attorneys, I said, listen, make the apology as loud as the disrespect.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So and we're still fighting. We're still fighting. So yeah, but that's.
Do you nurture your mental health now? Not to elongate my
Yeah,
question.
well, I do. By speaking about it, you know, and talking to people that can or have careers or want careers in law. If it's something that I can say to maybe have them change the way they may view things or not get jaded by the job as they go on. I enjoy talking to people. So that for me is like the mental health. I've been often asked that have I seen anyone professionally? And I get kind of sarcastic with it because I'm saying, well, who's qualified to tell me or talk to me about what I've gone through?
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what.
And remember what I said before. I said at the end of the day, when you go through certain things, no matter who you talk to or whoever advice you get, it always come back to you, and you got to figure it out regardless of what. So anybody can tell you what they want to tell you. Like I said, that's something I don't know if anybody could really give you.
Case study for
that.
that.
You know what I mean? So, but it always comes
back in the criteria, like, oh, you're being accused, like all those things that
All
you
those
just
things,
brought up.
Right.
What professional is going to tell you about
who
it?
can tell me something? You know, how do you begin to tell me the process?
Yeah.
You know? So and for me, you know, and just to go back to that for a minute, it's me who actually came home to make the discovery. Right. You know, I found my mom. I called the police. You know what I mean? So
wow.
Right. So within 48 hours, you know, they're like, yo, come on.
Yeah, that turns from trauma to double trauma. You double
trauma.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Twice.
So you don't know up from down, left from right. It's like you're in a perpetual state of vertigo, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it was wild. Those couple days right after, it was very wild. Yeah.
I'm sure you heard it a lot, but I want to say just thank you on behalf of all the men that you actually are advocating for and those that you will touch in the future. So thank you in advance. I wanted to speak about Nation of Gods and Earths, what some people may know as the 5%ers. How does your involvement with the lessons kind of help you shape the life you live, but also the dope ass music that you make?
Right.
Yeah, how does it shape your life and the music that you make?
Okay, so I've had knowledge self since I've been 14. All right, and going through all of this ordeal that I went through, outside of having a strong father, knowing that I wasn't supposed to be there, studying those lessons, it gives you that sense of self, that you know you have to pull yourself through whatever it is that you're going through somehow, some way. So I utilized my lessons to empower me throughout my incarceration. I met some great guys, man, some very powerful guys along the way. And I even had some that never got incarcerated that was supporting me out here as well. But that really shaped my thinking in the sense that you have to remain strong regardless of what you're faced with.
Okay.
You know, so the lessons, and I'm still an advocate, still an advocate. So that's how that definitely helped me.
Awesome. Amazing.
Awesome. Sorry, are you Muslim or are you 5%?
5%.
5%.
Okay. So being that he spoke on your music, when was the transition to say, hey, I wanted to be going to this to this realm of being a rapper and
great question,
being in music?
question. I've actually been doing hip hop since I've been about 8, 9 years old. I knew then that that's
something you wanted to do.
That's what I wanted to do. I always knew that. So you know, I started out DJing. You know what I mean? So I got my little turntables. You go from that. I did graph. You know what I mean? So you do all these little elements of hip hop until you find, okay, this is what I really want to do.
Right.
So I think by the time I was introduced to my Mount Rushmore MCs.
Well, what is that? We gotta ask that question. What is that?
You threw yourself a question with the
So my Mount Rushmore MCs is Kane, Rod, G, and Chris. So we're talking 85, 86.
Right.
All right. So I think it's a demo was 85. Then everybody else came 86. From that point right there, I knew, that's what I want to do.
Those are really good lyrical.
Yeah, and that's that. That's the bar that's set, and it's like, okay, we were always chasing that bar.
Yeah,
and they all had knowledge of self.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So, that's for me. I was like, okay, this is what I really want to do. This is where I'm at. I want to rhyme. So I've been doing that. Even while incarcerated, we did that, man, to kind of keep each other strong. We did that to sharpen our swords.
Right.
Yeah. So I never stopped rhyming.
Y'all battled a lot in there?
Yeah.
And you couldn't say the same thing because I'm gonna see you tomorrow.
I'm gonna see you tomorrow.
I'm gonna see you tomorrow. So you gotta come up with something new.
Fresh life. Here we go.
But there was definitely a lot of battles in there.
I didn't.
Who are more of them? You or I won?
I on, man. Oh man, he's animal.
You was on the pull-up bar with him?
No. Let me say something. Those days, I wouldn't go near no pull-up bar. No. I want the food, man.
Yeah. Take 2 of those.
I didn't want to dig too much into the pain of it, but you lose a lot, right? Like your entire family, your focus has to be redirected to saving a member of the family. Yeah. And you lose out on the Disney trip because, whatever it may be, the thing that we was going to do together, you lose out on that because you speak more some of the losses so that people understand this kind of way of doing things is very detrimental to families.
They are. I mean, this ordeal, it really tore my family apart. I think everybody knew. It's like, okay, we know he didn't commit this crime. But now there's a difference in knowing that and saying, okay, well, I'm going to get up, make sure he's all right in court. I'm going up there to see him. I'm talking to his lawyer.
I'm in the courtroom.
I'm in the courtroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Showing up.
It takes a lot, man. So I knew my father was alone in that sense. And some of the relationships, man, you still struggle to repair even now.
You have siblings?
Well, I'm the only child from my mom.
Okay.
Right.
My father has other children, so some are much older than me. I have one that's younger than me. So yeah.
So he didn't stop.
You know,
Nah.
he ain't stop.
I don't think nobody daddy back in the day stopped. Me and people on the train look just like you.
And here's the thing, he was like 50 when I was born. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So going through everything that you went through, and experiencing it, coming full circle with it, obviously happening many years later. Do you reflect on the judicial system, whether it is fractured, or do you feel, it's in a good space because you did get it, because you were exonerated?
Wow, that's a very interesting question. Because I'm kind of torn with that. First of all, it took a lot for them to really say, okay, we're going to overturn this conviction. The Bronx Conviction Integrity Unit. It took a lot. So for me, there was a part of me that was like, wow, this is definitely a step in the right direction, and a lot of people were being exonerated at the time. But then there's that part of me where it's torn, where I'm like,
You have to go through that.
yeah, what you did to me is how the system works. You see what I mean? So it's like when you ask, is it fractured? I'm like, it's kind of working the way it's supposed to, because it's getting all of us in there. You know what I mean? So it's kind of working, but yes, it is fractured. You know what I mean? From a different perspective. But like I said, for what was done for me, and a lot of other people that were exonerated, it's like it makes you feel like there is a step in the right direction. You can't help but to feel that, but you have to force people. You have to force their hand.
I think that's important that you kind of alluded to that, because I tried to watch every video that had your name on it.
Yeah.
And 80% of the comments are excited and happy that you're home and wishing you well. And the other 20% are people that are still fighting on behalf of people that they're, wishing to come home or bring home.
That's why it's so important.
How do these people that want to be advocates for their family members reach out to these programs like the Innocence Project and other advocacy groups?
You can go right on their website, on the Innocence Project website, and there's definitely something on the website for people who want to volunteer their time to just learn and get acclimated with what's going on, especially if you have family members that are there that you're fighting for. The best place to start when you want to help somebody is to be of service to someone else. You know what I mean? Right. So, yeah, just go right up on there. Go to their website, and you will see where you can actually do volunteer work.
No,
Are you still doing volunteer work? Or
I am. Okay. Matter of fact, we have just done a PSA with the Innocence Project, talking about a lot of the stats and things like that. So they had me come by and do that. So anything that they asked me to do, I'm there for.
No, was there.
Yeah.
So my question is, right, through this ordeal, like, have you been in communication with any government officials and things to help, besides the Innocent Project, to help, bring light to what's going on?
Yeah, there's been some laws passed, some like committees I had sat on, and laws have been passed where now, when you question an adolescent or a child, man, now there has to be a videotape. That we're going to videotape the whole process, because this wasn't being done before.
Right.
So like even with me, they'll say, okay, we're going to show him on videotape after we've prepped him and done all this stuff.
Yeah.
So now when you look at the tape, it looked like it's just like
sleep deprivation.
You can't see that there's
it's just a confession.
Right. So certain laws have gotten changed. I've been asked to speak on behalf of certain things, and as a result of me speaking, they say, okay, well look, we'll see about changing a few things. So anytime that I can be of service that way as well.
Have you done that with like local politicians?
Yeah.
Has anybody have been instrumental in your voice? That's been
not really. Not really.
That's a shame.
Yeah, you see, and here's the thing. Like for me, not just those who are innocent, but anybody that's coming home. I want to be in a position to assist and help. A lot of times, many of us come out here, innocent or guilty, ill prepared for what's about to happen. And I don't believe that someone should have to come out and then just get thrown right into the fray and say, figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Right.
gotta be weird, right? You come
It's
home
weird.
with Metro cards.
Listen,
all
I
kinds
came
of
home-
I was going to ask you about that next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, let me tell you something. I came home at the height of the recession.
Okay.
Mhm.
The bottom had just fallen out, 2008.
Mhm.
Right.
I come home September 09. It looks like a different world to me. Metro cards, you know what I mean? I'm thinking people are walking down the street talking to themselves. I'm realizing this is Bluetooth. I'm like, yo, everybody's crazy. Right over here. The boss right over here. See, now check how crazy it gets, right? So I'm thinking everybody's crazy. Check my ass out. I go to the payphone, pick up the phone. I got to call somebody. So now everybody's looking at me. This jackass is on the payphone. You know what I mean? So
The only one left in New York. He found it.
you know what I mean? So yeah, man. It was a lot, man. Coming home, and seeing that the transition and the changing. I think that there should be more services before you come home.
Right.
Transitionary.
We have transitional services in there, but a lot of times the information is
It's
not
thrown at you.
right. But no, a lot of times the information is not applicable when you get out here.
Okay.
Right.
You see
So
what
it's
I'm saying?
outdated.
It's outdated.
Right.
A lot of times it's outdated. Not, I believe that if people come home more prepared, they won't lean on friends and family too much, probably just for the emotional support,
Right.
but they wouldn't be so much of a financial burden.
So
Gotcha.
if you had to give somebody, because somebody coming home today, right? So if you had to give somebody just a bit of advice as to one of the first things they should be focusing their mind on when they come home, what would that be?
Find yourself or find somebody to help you rent a room. Don't go live with nobody.
Okay.
Mm.
Don't go live with, especially like some people like, yo, go live with their girl, this or that.
Okay.
Go rent a room, man. Be still for a minute and just figure this out, man, because everybody, when you come home, wants you to be the version of you that
left.
they see.
Right.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, okay, in their mind, you should be doing this, that, and the third. Well, okay, well, you should also be doing this, that. Nobody asks you, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is it that you're interested in? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's get you there with that. So now you'll find a guy that's being pulled in different directions, and he gets frustrated, and then you'll start to act out. You feel what I'm saying? So,
Right.
yo, rent.
That's interesting that
Yeah.
that your support system could also be a weight.
It can.
Yeah.
Because now what happens is, sometimes everyone has like that threshold. It's like, okay, you're living here, but they're making accommodations for you.
Yeah.
Right.
You can wear that. You can wear that welcome out.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody's going to
quick.
tell you.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's no more bread.
Slamming doors.
Now it's like, so when you said you're going back down to the thing for the
Yeah.
Right.
you know what I mean?
Any
So
applications today?
right,
What did you want to do when you got out? Or did you not know?
kind of sort of. I knew I wanted to fight. I knew I wanted to continue to keep fighting this case. All of my energies went into that. And music. I wanted to do music. You know what I mean? As soon as I came home, because when I left and went in, everything was analog. Came home, everything was digital. Everything on a computer.
Yeah.
So, when I was a kid, in order to get into a studio, they had the 2-inch
Yeah,
reels and
tapes,
you know what I mean?
that
So
tape.
I'm like, that, I couldn't get into a studio back then. So now it's like, okay, everybody has a home studio, and it's just, I want to do music. So I gotten into that, gotten into production. I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Are you putting that stuff now on the stuff that are you putting your stuff in your music now?
Actually, after a couple years of being home, life happens.
Right.
And
Different
then
experiences.
and now you realize, I kind of got to pick this ball up, man, and really start doing things different. And music, although it never leaves your heart, it like kind of gets pushed
Yeah.
to the side until you figure out what you got to do. Also, although, you never stop writing, but I was like, you know what? If you're going to do something, you're going to rhyme, you have to tell this story.
Yeah.
Anything else, if you don't tell this story through this piece of music, so what, you wasting your time.
Yeah.
Right.
Why go through all this and you can't tell anybody about it?
It's too much
Through
experience
music.
to sideline.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, that would be tantamount to me just lying on record.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
It's like, nah. And as soon as I decided that, okay, I'm gonna talk about it. the music is just it was
It
just
just
coming.
came.
flowing.
Right.
It
Yeah.
starts flowing because now it's not forced. It's your life. Now you just need to find how you're gonna pen it.
That's what I was going to say
Yeah.
about your music. I like the fact that you're not forcing a story. You're not trying to tell a story from a thug point of view. You're not trying to
Right.
make it cool to be incarcerated for X amount of years. And I also said this to Eyeball, so I'm going to fish it out a little bit.
Mhm.
Your sound distinctly is so New York and so my definition of hip hop.
Appreciate that.
I want to know.
Your business
Mhm.
joint.
I already say I already got your 5, but where did your influences come over the years as our music has actually went to trash?
Would you say that?
Good enough. I take that. I
Don't
take
put him
that
on
back.
like that.
I take
Don't
that.
put-
My
don't
bad,
put
my
him on
bad.
like
You
that.
gonna put on Sexy Red when we leave? You can be honest now. You can be
I will say this, man. First, I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna go back. Yo, I love what the kids do, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I love what the kids do, man.
Okay,
Even
okay.
if I don't necessarily understand everything at the outset, it's like, yo, nah, this is still if you funky, you funky.
Yeah,
Creativity,
It's-
yeah.
and they grinded.
and they grind it. And I like that they really take chances and do different things. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
They understand the social part of it, the
Yeah.
media, and
But
actually.
even if it's not what we love of it, not
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's their thing.
Yeah,
Right.
because it
Like
ain't.
when they, you know, like y'all, you know, when y'all grew up, when
Mhm.
you had your language with everybody, you talk to people like that. Our parents probably like, what the hell they talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
space we in right now. But I love it because they are creating their own wave. And what I do love is like the elder statesmen of hip hop. Some of y'all are actually integrating it.
I love that right now there's no gatekeepers. There's not old men that are sitting in the room keeping people out.
Right,
If
right.
you got enough of a following, you can figure it out. And that's what I love, that they're figuring out the business side of it, because admittedly I don't like the music.
Like Drake will
but-
do a song with Sexy Red. Like,
but
that's-
them having, again, even when we talked about the endorsements for certain people, them being able to get themselves out there and make money off of one song, like that shit is the creativity part where I've like, you know what,
Yeah.
they got a spark.
Mhm.
Sorry about
Nah, that's all right. and as far as like me, my influences, like I said, my Mount Rushmore. Like I'll still scour and see if they can put a new freestyle out or
Okay.
something like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. For me, rhyming inside all those years, the Woo. It's like
Mhm.
you know, we were doing our own thing there, and to watch that and watch what they did, man, from 9 to all the way, it's like that's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're global.
yeah.
I know
Yeah.
you spoke about your album
Mhm.
coming out. Can I say the time?
Yeah.
Can I say the time? Can I say? Oh, it's a secret. We'll keep it up.
Okay, okay,
All right.
okay, okay,
All right.
okay.
All right, but are you working on it? Do you have any other features on it that you could discuss?
No, well, right now, there's no like the other MCs on there.
Mhm.
I think I just wanted to really just tell the story in complete, man, from the
Getting
intro
into it.
Mhm.
to the end.
Can you tell who it was produced by?
Now that is I can.
The brother,
Yeah.
Shout out to
Arsonist.
You
My
did
brother.
some shit for us too.
Yeah,
so.
so,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
He's a
To see you on the
man.
charts.
He's a bad man. He really is, man. And great to work with too, man.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a
great.
humble brother, man.
Yeah,
very
shout out to
humble.
the brother.
He listen, when we in there recording some of the songs, he was able to bring, bring certain things out. We're doing. He's like, yo, nah, I think you do it like this, and he sees it.
Mhm.
Right.
Uh-huh.
He sees it, man, from top to bottom, man. And I was like, yo, listen, bro, I'm follow your lead, man. Just tell me what you need me to do,
Mhm.
and making great music.
Nah,
Good.
definitely.
Yeah.
So now that's after this project here, right? Because we know that you have the love and the passion for creating hip hop, right? Who is somebody that you would love to do a feature with moving forward?
Wow, there's so many people I'd love to do a feature with.
I hear Crispy letting verses go. They want to reach out to KRS. Let me see.
You know something?
Who won a Christmas album?
Right. One of the things, oddly enough, and I people never really say it. LL.
Hello?
Yeah.
I'm born said it.
Oh,
I
that's
did
it. That's his guy.
Yeah.
That's his guy.
Todd
But
Smith.
you know what? I guess when I hear songs like 432 and the
Mhm.
songs,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, yo, I want to do a joint with
Yeah,
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you was gonna say a Wu-Tang person. I was about to say, come on.
Wu-Tang is global, man.
I like the
That
wolf.
is a fact.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask. I know that you were exonerated, but you also successfully sued the city and won a case. What do you want to do in terms of the future? What does outlook look like for you beyond just music and you figuring out things going forward?
Oh man,
Because an injustice happened to you.
right. So for me, what I'd like to see moving forward, that thing that they call like qualified immunity for law enforcement and people like that, I'd like to see it change.
Qualified immunity.
Yeah, I'd like to see that change. So right now, the prosecutor in my case now is a judge in Queens. The officers they retired. Some went to work in the Bronx DA's office at the time. Everybody went on to do different things. People need to be held responsible for the part that they played in this.
If those officers were held responsible in advance, you would have never been arrested and interrogated the way you were.
Right, because they did this
6
a couple
months
times.
prior?
They did this 6 months prior. And this was like, mine was maybe in a 9-month period or something. It might have been the third time that they did it.
Yeah.
So
were those people exonerated as well?
They went to trial and the case was thrown out.
Okay.
That case was either right before trial or something like that.
Okay.
It was thrown out and it was sealed. But we found out that they had done it, the same 3 guys. So if they would have been held responsible then, it wouldn't have happened to me. But even so, with it happening, it's like they still had the opportunity
catch him.
Yeah. Well, no, they had the opportunity to clear their mistakes.
To make it right. Even with you being in homeroom, like they
could have made it right because see, not only that, when they got that information but when they found my mom's car. You see what I'm saying? It was being driven by the tenant downstairs who actually committed the crime. They had an opportunity to say, all right, look, we can fix this. What they decided to do was double down on it.
Yeah.
And people don't like when I say it, but this is what it is. They conspired with the actual murderer to cover up a murder.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Somebody with prior history.
Yeah. So they conspired with him. He's the murderer, and they're going to sit down and they're going to put this thing together a way where we're going to cover up everything that you did and we're going to put this on this child.
Sick.
To make it seem like they did.
Right. Oh, but because what they had to do, they had to make sense of this car. You got to make sense of this car. How do you have this car? So they sat and they put a story together
and accepted it.
And that involved me and say, okay, that works. It was 1989. Sadly, most of our people were deathly afraid of us. As kids,
Right.
people were afraid of us. You know what I mean? Maybe your mom or your mom or your aunt are not afraid of you, but if they see me coming down the street, they don't know me.
Yeah.
But you know what that is, right?
Yeah.
That's your light. I'm happy to see that your light hasn't dimmed because of this.
Yeah.
People are scared of us. It's the light that we see that shines. And it's dope to see that yours still does.
Thank you.
It really
appreciate
is.
that, man.
So I have a question, right? So out of everything that happened to you, right? You went through this crazy ordeal. What is Wise now that he's home? Who is Wise besides the music, besides the exoneration, and besides fighting for everybody else and who is Wise?
Wise today is just a man that just wants to see good in people, wants to see good in himself, just passionate about seeing the good, man. You know, and however I have to do that, so be it. I don't think that there is like one thing that can like really describe me because of all the things that I've gone through.
Right.
Some days you wake up in the morning like, even when I was working in construction, I was an elevator mechanic. So even doing that, there's days where you're getting up, you're like, yo, damn, I'm not getting the money I should get, or whatever the case may be, but you still press.
For sure.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So just it's a lot of different things to describe me, but just a passionate person.
That's great. That's great.
I got one more that I kind of feel like gets glossed over way too much in the publications about you. You had what I would assume to be an amazing upbringing as a kid. I want you to tell some stories about who your mom was and who your family was before you were taken away?
Oh man, thank you for asking that.
Absolutely.
Too, man. Thank you for asking that. And my mom's, man. I was her only son.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, everything that she did for me. She would often get chastised for buying me too much things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when I'm young, I'm in sheepskins and all kind of stuff
Okay,
like
okay,
that.
I see you, brother. I see you.
So yeah, man, you know what I mean. So
Still clean.
I never knew what it was to not have when it was concerning her, man. And she allowed me the leverage to choose the things that I wanted to do. Nothing was ever forced on me. It's like, you're smart. You can, I'm going to allow you to be you.
Okay.
And so with her birthdays, vacations, it's like, it was me and her. That was my roadie, So when all this happened, it's like I just left you on the couch.
Right.
You know what I mean? So she was just starting like a 2-week vacation that morning. And that's my first day back to school after the holiday break. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So yeah. So I'm like, just an amazing person, an amazing woman, man. And never judge, man. Never judge. Allow me to make my mistakes. Show me why I made the mistake, and just very supportive, man.
She gave you grace, huh?
Yeah. And for me, like my personality, she had a lot of fire. A lot more than me. She had some fire. My personality is more like my father's.
Okay.
More of an even temperament. She get on fire.
Yeah.
Now you silent fighting out here, so you got some of this still.
So yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. But just amazing, amazing lady, man. And everybody that came in contact with her knew her. From back in Jamaica, I talked to much older people that knew her when she was there. And they all have the same things to say about her.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be me if I didn't ask. So let me ask.
Ah.
How has Cuisine changed?
You talking about from inside there to out there?
No. I don't even want to talk about the inside food. I don't even want to talk about the inside food.
You got Google now.
I don't even want to talk about that food. No. Like the food that you remember from then. Because
man,
that's where we are now.
Right?
You know what?
You eating in 1989,
Yeah,
something totally
it's
different.
totally different.
Home cooking is not home cooking.
It's not.
Cast iron skillets back in the day.
All that stuff, man.
Yeah.
I can taste the difference in the food. Like certain even snacks where we used to eat when we were kids. If you try to eat it now, it's like, this doesn't.
It's not no
quite
Oreo.
the same.
Yeah.
Like it's like plastic.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the rice doesn't taste the same anymore. Like a lot of things don't taste the same. I stopped.
The rice.
Yeah, I stopped eating meat not because I didn't like meat. I just stopped eating because I'm like, y'all gonna put too much chemicals. You put all this stuff in it. It's like, that can't be good for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like you're more concerned with turning a profit than people's overall health.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I stopped it. But the food from back then to now, it's definitely changed.
Okay.
It's definitely changed.
You like Arbonne? You eating once a day?
Nah, the good brother, man.
He trying to hit us with something. I eat them once a week. I'm like,
I had 2 breakfasts. What you talking about?
I love you, not inviting you for Thanksgiving.
Man. I gotta eat though, man. I eat.
That's what's up.
Before we get out of here, you got anything coming up? Anything we should know about? Any upcoming projects? Any other series? Or anything you're doing?
Just the project that we have coming out soon. Just look out for like different speaking engagements, man.
Okay.
Nothing is in stone as of yet.
Okay.
But there will definitely be speaking engagements. I'm knee deep back in court again with them. So a court of claims case.
Okay.
So I'm still fighting, and
Yo, the crazy part about those numbers, right? Like those numbers don't take into account for like all of the times that I had to refocus my day and my life as a family unit to make sure that you were good in that moment. Those when they talk about these numbers, it's like it's so hard to like understand.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so and so was given X amount of dollars as compensation for some mistake that happened and it goes, did you even take into account my aunt's money who also had to contribute during that time? My cousin's time because he had to take off work because of court dates.
Inflation after 20 years.
And let me show you
those
something.
things is never. Those numbers are never good.
It's never good. And let me show you just a quick example. My father, we had a house in the Bronx. He had to end up selling that in 2000. I told him, listen, go home. It's time for you to go home. At the time, I was like 28. I think I had been, damn near in prison as long as I had been alive before I got arrested. So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? You're talking about 12, 13
Who
years
am I?
out. You know what I mean?
Who am I?
Exactly. So what ended up happening with him, like I said, every penny he had was into this defense.
That's what I'm
paying
saying.
lawyers. We never stopped paying lawyers, paying investigators. Check this out. By that time, his brain started to slip. He started to get dementia and stuff like that. And when that happens, the wolves come out of the woodwork and they start siphoning off.
Yeah.
So by that time, by the time it was all over, he died penniless.
Wow.
Yeah.
I go back and forth to Jamaica now, fighting for
a result that would never happen if you were on the street.
Exactly. He would have been 101.
Wow. Yeah.
He'd have been 101. You know what I mean? This year, and I'm like, I still go back, and it's like people are looking at me like, what do you want? I want what's his. I want what's his that belonged to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm here for it. So the respect, the love and admiration is just not in life. I'm going to do the same with you in death.
Right.
You did what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So I'm down there doing that, but exactly, that is never taken into consideration. The loss that everybody has to have. My father had to go back to the same bedroom his wife was murdered in and sleep there. You understand what I'm saying? So nobody takes into account.
Without his son to help him go through that moment too.
You're going through it by yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah. So although we fighting with each other, he's alone, I'm alone.
Yeah.
As weird as that is, So yeah, man. Right. They don't take it into consideration.
Shout out to the Innocence Project.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, shout out to the Innocence Project, man.
Yeah.
And shout out to you for definitely having the resolve to actually stick it through 20 plus years of holding your head and being able to come home and still maintain a sense of respect and sensibility about yourself.
And you know what? Let me. I wouldn't be fair if I didn't say this. Along the way, I met some great friends that we're still friends now, and it was through them. Sometimes some of them didn't even know what I was there for. Some of them knew, decided I'm not even talking about that. I know why. I'm not even discussing that shit. You know what I mean? And I left there. I came in by myself at 16. I left at 37 with some great friends that will go to the moon and back for me.
That's
so, it wasn't just all of, my resolve and strength, although it needed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To get through. But I had some great guys along the way, man.
Good. Shouts to them.
I'm on one of them.
Shouts to them. Shouts to all the brothers.
Yeah, good.
Thank you also for coming here and
thank you.
Sharing your story with everybody, and not only sharing it with everybody, but sharing it not from a I'm not gonna say you're not angry,
right?
Because you probably are inside, but you did it with a smile.
Your music too.
You did it with resolve, and that's what I appreciate. I appreciate you got here, and the message definitely got through. I believe because some people get on here and start angrily talking and doing this, and you didn't do that. You actually did it in a graceful way, man.
Well, if I can add to that, I often tell people when I go to speak, they say, "Man, you don't seem angry." I said, "Well, let's talk about anger." I said it's a lot like fire. You can use this fire to heat your home or burn it to the ground.
Yeah,
true.
How are you going to channel it? It's still the same fire.
I'm still
it's still the same fire, man. So what we do, how we process things, man, is how we're gonna get through life. Man.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's gonna show you how far you're gonna go or not.
It's true. It's true.
Keep teaching, keep fighting, brother.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Wise.
Yes, sir.
Deacon Wise, y'all.
Yeah,
400.